everyone, it's Lidia with MUSE TV, and up next, we're going to be speaking with Arthur Hanlon, talking about his latest album, Piano y Mujer, featuring Natalia Jimenez, Goyo, Nella, Evaluna, and Kany Garcia. We are also going to be talking about the concert special premiering this Friday on HBO Max and HBO Latino. So stay tuned. So I'm here today with the incredibly talented pianist, Arthur Hanlon, talking about his new concert special, Piano y Mujer, premiering on HBO Max and HBO Latino this Friday. Arthur, how are you?
I'm good, Lydia. How are you?
I'm good. So Piano y Mujer is a concert special based off of your latest album, which is available to stream now on all the favorite platforms. It really is an audio journey through parts of Latin America because you are working with very different artists, all who have different styles, different backgrounds. I'm curious, what was the collaborative process working with them and the whole creative of bringing this album together? Because you start with Vámonos Compadre as your intro, and then you end with your rendition of Santana's Oye Como Va, which is, a staple song. There's not a Latino alive who doesn't know it. And it's just like the perfect upbeat ending, and just it makes you want to continue listening. So what was the collaborative process like?
I really believe in energy and really believe in chemistry and music, and as a pianist, I'm doing lots of collaborations. And I really need the chemistry. And with all of them, with Kany Garcia from Puerto Rico, and Natalia, Goyo, Evaluna, and Nella, we have this great chemistry, so it would be going to the studio, and I was thinking it would be cool, this is in the middle of the pandemic, so we're thinking lots of time to think of creative ideas instead of just, okay, 1 month to do an album or 2 months or whatever, to do like one hit song of theirs, with my piano, different style, then one like song that's iconic that everyone knows. Yeah. So that was more or less the formula and then just going to the studio and trying different things and creating.
You've also worked with a lot of other major artists in Latin music, Marc Anthony, Fonseca, Luis Fonsi. I'm curious, who inspired you to get involved with Latin music and music in general?
Well, my story is really kind of weird. My parents are Irish immigrants, and I grew up in Detroit with a passion for piano. But as hardworking immigrants, my parents are like, look, dude, piano's really hard. You're going to make a living with that? No, you got to go to New York, where the best are. If you can hang in New York, then maybe, But what they didn't realize, I went to Manhattan School of Music, which is in the middle of the barrio. It's in a neighborhood to this day. It's full of Dominicans, Colombians, Puerto Ricans, and it was impossible for me to not hear these rhythms, I grew up in Detroit playing blues and Motown, and a lot of times being the only white guy in an all black band, which was an amazing experience. And so the Latin rhythms that I found in New York just changed the direction of my career.
It was just your environment that pretty much inspired you then to get involved with the genre of Latin music?
That was pretty much it, hanging out and hey, it's a gringo que toca piano. This is the guy, it's from Detroit that plays blues, man. Let's mix and I just started mixing things and ideas.
Why the piano? I mean, if you could have played any other instrument, you chose piano. And at the beginning of the trailer for the concert special, you say that there's nothing more magical than the piano and a woman's voice. So what was it about the piano that you felt that is the instrument for me?
I was 6 years old when right before Christmas, and my dad bought a little piano for me and my 6 brothers and sisters. And a half an hour later, a friend of his played professionally. The guy just started playing, and I fell in love with it. To tell you the truth, it was like love at first sight.
You've been in the industry for a long time, and obviously, as I said earlier, you've worked with a lot of artists. Did you ever imagine, throughout your career, when you started, as a young child and throughout school and working with everyone else, did you ever imagine that Latin music would be where it is today, that a Latin artist doesn't have to record an album in English or do an English version of a song in order to get American airplay? Because up until 4 years ago, that was kind of the route. In order for Latino artists to be known here, they had to do an English crossover album. They had to redo a song in English. And then now, that's not the way anymore. I think after Luis Fonsi, Despacito came out, that sort of changed. Everyone now is embracing Latin music for its authenticity and its language. Did you ever think that would happen, that we would get to this point?
No, Lydia, I did not. And I went in there just because I have this passion for it and all the Latin rhythms, which I fell in love with. And my parents are, okay, first you want to go into music and now you want to play Latin music? What are you, crazy? How are you going to make a living? But I just kept doing it. And like you say, things have changed so much. It was, you know, okay, this is Latin, you got to do all these cross steps first. But no, the Latin culture is so full of, you know, mixing. You know, it's a big mix. It's sancocho. It's like a big soup of all these different tasty things that you can go, you know, and all these different styles, which is now dictating, ironically, to the rest, pretty much the rest of the world. And it's not, you don't, you don't have to go through these Anglo channels anymore. It's like, look what they're doing in Miami. Look what they're doing in LA. Look what these Latins are doing, and it's all over the globe.
Is there any artist, you know, like a or like a I don't know, like a classical song that you love to, you know, remake and make your own? Like, is that difficult when you come across that? You know, because obviously, like, you did your rendition of Santana's Oye Como Va, and there's still that familiarity of it, of like, oh, okay, I can tell there's still some of the original song, but it's also more of you in it. So how does that work when you're, you know, taking a song that was made for somebody else and then making it your own while still being true to the essence of, okay, this is how it's known?
That's great. And that's the challenge, like, for sure. You know, you keep the essence of it, but where's the magic? You know, you can't just copy. I play piano. Yeah, I'm a piano. You can't just copy. Where's the magic? For example, Evaluna Montaner, she's, you know, she's really spiritual. And I'm thinking, okay, Hallelujah. I love that song. I'm from Detroit. I grew up playing blues. What if we mix blues, you know, with her spiritual voice? And so we went in the studio. I just started kind of playing that vibe like that, and it started flowing.
Yeah. And I think I love, especially about the women that you're working with on this album, is that every single one of them is about, you know, embracing their heritage and who they are and about being, you know, authentic. So when you're working with these artists and you're coming and you're, you know, collaborating on songs and coming up together, do you ever sometimes feel like, okay, you know, there may be, you know, a different way of doing a song because everyone is different. So obviously, you know, the way some people like to dance in one country or the way they like to enjoy music is different than another. Do you ever sometimes pick up on different things and take with you with every other song that you do? Like, you know,
yeah, completely. That's what I'm all about. You know, I can't just play a song and, okay, here's a song on the radio. Yeah, I can play it right now, but and just copy it. That's, you know, it's got to be different. What's different? What can I bring that's different to the world? You know, and unique. And with these 5 women too, you know, ironically, I grew up in a house with 3 sisters, my grandmother, and my mom. 5 strong women, you know, very opinionated and very cool. But I play piano for them every night. And I've just always loved, since like being a kid, is just working with women that are intelligent and strong, that can think in 4 dimensions, and, you know, and that are inspiring.
Yeah. You know, and the concert special was obviously recorded last year, and it was in the middle of a pandemic. But there's this intimacy between like you and the, you know, and like the audience. It's very intimate. You know, it's not this huge elaborate affair, which is what kind of people are used to when they see concert specials, because that's what you imagine. So for you, do you like that? Do you prefer that, having that sort of intimacy, that kind of like more close connection when you're playing with music? Or
Well, before the pandemic, everything was about huge and traveling, and you're on an airplane 2 days here, and then all of a sudden, like, all of us artists that were here in my studio with my pianos, that's it. There's no traveling, thinking about life, thinking about music. And so we filmed it at this hotel in Miami. It was a great theater, really small. It was closed. We took over the whole thing for like 4 days. And it was this really different energy because everyone had their own experience because of the pandemic. And it was October. And everyone showed up with masks on and, you know, nervous. We're thinking, like, what are we doing? We're, you know, there's like 50 people filming, but we had to do it because this is, you know, and we didn't want a pandemic special either. You know, we were taking our masks off. We're going for it. You know, we're as safe as we could. Everyone was tested, of course, but it was a special energy, this intimate energy, and everyone bringing their experience from the past year to make music, you know, to try to make the world a better place, and, you know, and to celebrate women. And that's what it was all about.
yeah, no, I think definitely, I think when people watch the concert special, they're gonna forget completely about that, you know, that we're in a pandemic and everything that's going on, because you just get so immersed in the music and you get so caught up in the moment that you forget about everything else. And that's something that I loved about how the concert special was filmed, that you have that intimacy, that you have that kind of like, you know, kind of blockage of everything else. And on top of that, obviously you're working with, you know, Nelly and Goyo and everyone else. There's still artists that you kind of just get a little starstruck when you work with.
Yeah, you know, Cheo Feliciano's from Puerto Rico. He wrote El Raton, one of my favorite songs. And I filmed this PBS special in Castillo San Cristobal in Puerto Rico. And we turned the whole castle into the soundstage, invited Mark Anthony, Laura Pausini, and Cheo Feliciano. He was like 73 at the time. And I'm sitting there on stage playing with him, and I'm thinking like, oh my God, all right, cool, dude, chill, Avi. But he's like, I started getting nervous myself in my own special because it was like with him. So yeah, you know, in playing with people of that level, I love when we can inspire each other, you know, and interchange ideas and come up with something new.
But thank you so much for sitting down and talking to me about your album. And for everyone listening, make sure to check out Piano y Mujer, available on your favorite platforms. And do not forget to stream the concert special when it comes out on HBO Latino and HBO Max this Friday. So Arthur, thank you so much for sitting down and talking to us about it. We wish you the best.
Awesome, Lidia. Thanks so much.